Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Schenectady. I'm Geoff Lundy, and any pronoun works for me. I'm sharing worship leading responsibilities with one of our co-ministers, Reverend Wendy Bartel. Please use Reverend Wendy's name rather than using he, she, they pronouns. Wherever you are on your journey of finding truth and meaning, whether you arrive joyous or with a heavy heart, we are grateful that you have chosen to be here this morning. Marianne and Tom Mangano will light our chalice as I share these words by the Reverend Kimberly M. Tomchek Carlson. And it is called, We Are a People of Beauty. Recognizing the beauty around us and within us, in voice and spirit, we gather to light our chalice. May we savor the beauty of our abundance and diversity, always cherishing one another and our earth. May we remember to inhale the lushness in life, knowing that we are a people of beauty.
This morning, our opening hymn is number 21 in the hardback hymnal Singing the Living Tradition. The words will also appear on the screen. For some of us, we cherish more traditional hymns, and as we explore the theme for All We Cherish this month of April, let us rise in spirit and or in body to sing one of our oldest hymns, For the Beauty of the Earth. Our reading this morning is inspired by and adapted from selections from John Muir's book, My First Summer, Chapter 4 for the first reading, Chapter 5 for the second reading, and Chapters 6 and 7 for the third reading. John Muir, an active environmental protector. The credits say words are by Sharon Skoll based on writings of John Muir, and Sharon Skoll also wrote the music. These words are in the language of John Muir's time. So we'll just have to expand on our own words. Excuse me. What we know will happen. The choir will actually respond to each reading with a sung phrase. It is allergy season as we acknowledge the earth. This is a song from our new online hymnal, Sing Out Love, and it's called Hymn for the Earth.
So extravagant is nature with her choicest treasures, spreading beauty as she spreads sunshine, pouring it forth onto land and sea, garden and desert. The beauty of lilies falls on angels and men, bears and squirrels, birds and bees. But as far as I have seen, man alone and the animals he tames destroy the garden. Lumbering bear and trampling deer saunter and feed over the land, and yet never have I seen spoiled by them. Whether my writing vanishes like fallen leaves or goes to friends and letters, it is nothing compared to the sight of this great wilderness. No pain here, no dull, empty hours, no fear of the past or future. The blessed mountains are filled with God's beauty, with no room for our petty hopes and delusions. Breathing the living air, every movement of limbs is a pure pleasure. We enter this place with our whole flesh, our souls transparent as crystal. Living above, rich in design, born of a crucible deep in time. As I wander through the solemn woods in silence, I hear an inner voice cry out, "Fear not." All suffering here is just gristmill flour. Man has such trouble gaining food for life, but here it is given in abundance and all are fed. Why do we sleep in paltry chambers when there is the spacious magnificence of the starry sky, the fragrance of fir groves? Here, water gathered from all the mountains makes music that could draw angels from the heavens to listen.
Earth is our home, our legacy. Lovers and guardians may we be. I don't know how old I was when I first heard the jingle, "Give a hoot, don't pollute, never be a dirty bird. In the city or in the woods, help keep America looking good." It was a long time ago. According to at least one source on Wikipedia, because there are some different stories out there, Woodsy Owl, who sang that song, was created in 1970 as part of the U.S. environmental movement in time for the first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970. The public service announcements or commercials or ads showed kids working together to clean up pollution, including trash, graffiti, noise, and often skipping or walking alongside a person in a Woodsy Owl character costume. I was inspired. Anybody else inspired by, remember those those of us of a certain age, maybe remembering those? I was so inspired that I went out and picked up trash in my neighborhood. I told other kids to pick up stuff if they just threw it on the ground. I was horrified while people littered. I still am. Why on earth does anyone think it's okay to just throw your trash out the car window or your cigarette butt out on the street? Why do people think it is okay to just dump a couch on the side of the road or to tolerate toxic waste from factories and other sources in our neighborhoods or anywhere, really? This ad campaign and others impacted people, and pollution decreased quite significantly in several places throughout the country. They pointed out our behaviors and showed us our interdependence, the ways that our actions impact each other, and how to make better choices. I find myself wondering, why do some of us seem to be oriented towards compassion, recognizing our interdependence, and others of us seem to only care about ourselves or accumulating more wealth and power? We could probably make some guesses. Certainly the therapists and social workers among us could. But what might be more useful for us this morning is to lean into a teaching attributed to the Greek philosopher Socrates, who said something along the lines of, an unexamined life is not worth living. What would we find if we examined our own lives, made it a regular practice to inquire why we do the things we do or don't do? Unitarian Universalism encourages us towards a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and that means more than just our theological perspectives. Doing this work is important, transformative, even as it may get uncomfortable sometimes. And especially for those of us who have been raised as white folks, we were taught implicitly and explicitly to value comfort, to assume comfort. We have often the privilege of comfort if we want it, meaning we don't have to change who or how we are if we don't feel like it. Now, this isn't always true, of course, and if you have been immediately starting to defend yourself and thinking of the ways you want to argue later, that's you proving the point. And of course, not only white people want comfort. Duh. We've just been taught to expect it. Most of us don't usually want to be met with uncomfortable truths. But sometimes that's exactly what we need. There's nothing wrong with preferring comfort or seeking it. But for us to actually protect the earth, to defend democracy, to dismantle white supremacy culture and patriarchy, to find our way to peace, liberty, and justice for all, or even on a smaller scale, to throw a block party community celebration, to strengthen our congregation, and to practice Unitarian Universalism, we're going to have to get uncomfortable. Earth is our home, our legacy. Lovers and guardians, may we be. Lynn and I have spoken about Brene Brown's work several times from this pulpit. I think her work on vulnerability and trust is also transformative, especially in systems where trust may be harder to come by. Brown is a research professor at the University of Houston, among other positions. Her social science interviews over many decades have helped reveal some of humanity's more challenging behaviors, particularly when we are experiencing vulnerability and or shame. Her team compiles data to see what is revealed rather than starting with a hypothesis and trying to prove or disprove it. It's a different way of approaching science. In her Dare to Lead work, the definition of integrity that arose from the data is this. Integrity is choosing courage over comfort. It's choosing what's right over what is fun, fast, or easy. And it's practicing your values, not just professing them. So in practicing integrity, as well as vulnerability, I acknowledge that sometimes two or more things can be true at once. Woodsy the Owl and the Give a Hoot campaign was powerfully impactful on me. I have never littered, at least not intentionally. And sometimes on walks I choose to pick up trash along the way, and I know many of you do too, especially when we're on trails. But sometimes, walking through the city, I don't. I just walk around it. It's not convenient, or I don't have gloves, or there's no trash can nearby, which might be why it's there in the first place. Or I'm in the middle of a conversation, or my back hurts, or besides, I can't possibly pick up all the litter everywhere. It's not my fault. Sound familiar? You ever have those conversations in your head? I see a lot of nods. We know that we value a clean, litter-free environment because we care. We want all of our neighborhoods to be free from trash and danger and harm. And sometimes we're willing to do whatever it takes. Like the buildings and grounds team has had 2 Saturdays in a row for cleanup day. Yay. Thank you to everyone who has helped with the grounds cleanup these last 2 Saturdays. But sometimes it feels like too much. And there, right there, in the intersection, the gap between what we profess our values to be and actually practicing them, is a place for self-examination and to wonder about our integrity, where we might find the discomfort of our own complexity. Our lives are filled with choices. Why do I sometimes pick up trash and why do I sometimes not? And of course, it's not limited to litter. Why do you say you want things to be better, but then you don't call your congressperson? Why do we say we cherish the earth and yet we still participate in activities that actively destroy the environment near and far? This is our religious home, and yet we don't always remember to put love at the center. Hello, humanity. It's hard work to face ourselves when our values and our actions don't line up. And sometimes far easier to judge when we witness others doing it. Easier to rationalize or defend, easier to just feel guilty or sink into avoidance. In beloved community, though, we don't let ourselves land in guilt or defensiveness. When we examine, because wallowing lets us off the hook from actually doing the transformative work that's needed. In beloved community, we can instead lean into that discomfort of hard truths about ourselves and each other and face the places where we fall short of our aspirations and offer one another encouragement and a little grace, and maybe to help dust one another off as we get up and try again and do better this time. Earth is our home, our legacy. Lovers and guardians may we be. A couple of weeks ago, the Survive and Thrive ministry team hosted Petra Pageman for a seed feast. If you've not had the pleasure of meeting Petra, let me tell you, she is a natural and compassionate and fierce force for what is good in the world and what good we can birth into being into this world. Petra has deep and profound respect for this precious earth. She and her partner Matthew, co-founders of Fruition Seeds, grew plants, saved seeds, packaged and sold seeds, high quality, organic, nourishing in nutrition and or in beauty. The business grew, as did Petra's discomfort with commodifying these tiny gifts of possibility. As she said to those in attendance at the seed feast, can you imagine the sun billing us for sunshine? Or the rain sending us an invoice? A couple of years ago, after much discernment and gentle changes over time, they, Petra and Matthew, decided to shift from the capitalist framework of selling seeds to a gift economy of sharing seeds. They examined their lives and methodically and courageously dared to not only imagine a world with more integrity and kindness, but to be an active part of creating it here and now. And they're not doing it alone. They have cultivated a large community of support and connection. They inspired 40 people who were here in the UUSS dining room to cherish these seeds, to cherish one another, to listen and to make of our lives a prayer for the earth, that we might live in ways that are sustainable, compassionate, and with integrity. It was powerful being with Petra and mindfully engaging in receiving the gift. We moved from table to table throughout the room with different prompts to receive one seed packet from a table full, seeds to plant for the pollinators, to plant for the ancestors. complicated as our heritage and our families can be sometimes. Seeds we might find intimidating, seeds that will be nourishing, seeds that we hope will make a difference. What seeds will you plant this season? What thoughts and beliefs might we allow to melt away as winter really does give in to spring blossoms? What wants to grow within you, within us, or through us? What and who needs our tending? Who and what needs to be weeded out? What needs to be composted, transformed into something else that is far more useful? In an article excerpted from the Endangered Species Enduring Values, an anthology of San Francisco area writers and artists of color, Sandra Bass wrote, "Now is the time to unleash our collective imaginations to till the soil, nourish the seeds of change with our aspirations, and bolster fledgling shoots promising new possibilities with ageless wisdoms, compassion, and courage. Not because we're certain that our labors will bear a harvest, but because we know that it is only through daily acts of loving and serving with and for each other that we live into our boundless, sacred humanity. Constant gardeners we must be, ever preparing the earth for full and abundant life." Daily acts of loving and serving. Earth is our home, our legacy. Lovers and guardians may we be. I cherish the earth, so I do what I can to soften my impact, and I know a lot of you do too. Lynn and I happen to have a life in which we can get by with one car most of the time. It's a 2009 hybrid. Not long for this world, probably. We eat mostly vegan and lower on the food chain, local when we can, organic when it's available. We use environmentally friendly cleaning products, all those things that many of you do too. Yet one of the most important things to recognize that I've been reading a lot lately from environmentalists is to recognize that pollution is not just individual. Even if every single one of us did all we could in our personal lives, it wouldn't be enough to slow the climate catastrophe that is already here. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do these things. We most definitely should. But there could be so much more impact and more quickly if large corporations, fossil fuel industries, factory farming, the war machines, and so on stopped. Just stopped. They are far worse polluters, and they have billions of dollars to gum up the works of regulations and to get politicians elected who don't cherish the earth. And those industries don't change without regulation or a profound change of heart. Perhaps that profound change of heart might come from you, daring to contact them. Or maybe it might come from community, or beauty, or a story. Or maybe it might come from a quote from Mary Oliver, in which she writes in her poetry handbook, "Poetry is a life-cherishing force." And it's a lot harder to contribute to the destruction of the earth if you're cherishing life. And as a poet who cherishes life, I share this poem to begin with, "The Sweet Grass" by Mary Oliver. Will the hungry ox stand in the field and not eat of the sweet grass? Will the owl bite off its own wings? Will the lark forget to lift its body in the air or forget to sing? Will the rivers run upstream? Behold, I say, behold, the reliability and the finery and the teachings of this gritty earth gift. Eat bread and understand comfort. Drink water and understand delight. Visit the garden where the scarlet trumpets are opening their bodies for the hummingbirds who are drinking the sweetness, who are thrillingly gluttonous. For one thing leads to another. Soon you will notice how stones shine underfoot. Eventually, tides will be the only calendar you live in. And someone's face, whom you love, will be as a star both intimate and ultimate. And you will be both heart-shaken and respectful. And you will hear the air itself like a beloved whisper, "Oh, let me for a while longer enter the two beautiful bodies of your lungs." The witchery of living is my whole conversation with you, my darlings. All I can tell you is what I know. Look and look again. This world is not just a little thrill for the eyes. It's more than bones. It's more than the delicate wrist with its personal pulse. It's more than the beating of a single heart. It's praising. It's giving until the giving feels like receiving. You have a life. Just imagine that. You have this day, and maybe another, and maybe still another. Someday I'm going to ask my friend Paulus, the dancer, the potter, to make me a begging bowl, which I believe my soul needs. And if I come to you, to the door of your comfortable house, with unwashed clothes and unclean fingernails, will you put something into it? I would like to take this chance. I would like to give you this chance. We do one thing or another. We stay the same or we change. Congratulations if you have changed. Let me ask you this. Do you also think that beauty exists for some fabulous reason? And if you have not been enchanted by this adventure, your life, what would do for you? What I loved in the beginning, I think, was mostly myself. Never mind that I had to, since somebody had to. That was many years ago. Since then, I have gone out from my confinements, though with difficulty. I mean the ones that are thought to rule my heart. I cast them out. I put them on the ush pile. They will be nourishment somehow. Everything is nourishment somehow or another. And I have become the child of the clouds and of hope. I have become the friend of the enemy, whoever that is. I have become older, and cherishing what I have learned, I have become younger. And what do I risk to tell you this, which is all that I know? Love yourself. Then forget it. Then love the world. Recently, in one of many short reels of video footage, perhaps you've seen it from the Artemis 2 mission, there's a brief one where mission specialist Christina Koch is showing her shining face. She's just beaming and saying, "In case you're wondering, the light you see on my face is earth shine." And that is the beautiful earth in the window. And the camera turns, and we can see about 3/4 of the globe that we know as Earth. Her smile is so big. You can hear the joy and the awe in her voice. Earth is our home, our legacy. Lovers and guardians may we be. Whether we are on a walk with a wise elder or hoping to be the wise one, may we listen for the prayers of the earth, noticing how each living thing gives its life to the beauty of all life. And that gift is its prayer. For all we cherish, may we live, love, and labor to be protectors and lovers and guardians of one another and this precious earth, our home. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be. Our closing hymn is number 21. What's that you say? Didn't we already sing number 21? Yeah, well, yes, we did. So no need to actually pick up the hymnal this time because the words will be up on the screen. And as I mentioned earlier, some of us cherish the old standard hymns, and some of us cherish new takes on old hymns, and this is one of those. Leah Davis has taken that first verse of that older hymn and created some parts for us to sing. There's an ostinato lower part, a middle kind of melody part, and a descant higher part. And we're just going to teach those. And then we're going to have all of them on the screen, and you get to pick which one you want to sing. But let's sing all of them because it can be really helpful to learn all the parts and see how they fit together. So for the lower voices, but anyone can sing this ostinato. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from a birth, over and around the same note over and over again. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from a birth, over and around us lies. And the middle is grateful we raise, grateful we praise. Grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we praise, grateful we raise, grateful we... And the high part, sauce we raise, our hymn of praise, sauce we raise, our hymn of praise, sauce we raise, our hymn of praise, sauce we raise, our hymn of praise. So you choosing the ostinato low part, or the middle sort of melody line, or the descant high part, I want you to just pick one of them because they're all there. In the low, the middle, and the high. Doesn't matter which one you pick, just pick any of them and decide that's the one you're going to sing. And if you notice that someone near you is singing something else and you find that hard to do something different, go ahead and sing along with them. That's okay. You don't have to stay there. But try for a little bit and get some sense of strength and or confidence in whichever one you start with. And if you're a person who never sings, start with the low part. It's one note over and over again. And if you can get the words out, you're golden, which is a different song we're not doing. Okay. So what I then invite you to do, once you feel like you have gotten some integrity in that line and notice you've gotten pretty comfortable with that line, is to get uncomfortable and sing a different line. Any of the other two. And again, when you start to feel a little bit more comfortable there, try a third line if you're feeling extra adventurous today. And if what you really need is to just stay on one line because your life is already complicated enough, thank you very much, do that. But choose at least one, because your voice matters. And whoever told you you can't sing was lying to you. Okay? The nervous chuckles start. That's okay. It's okay. Let us rise in body and or in spirit. Maria's going to help us out. So if we get lost, we'll find our way again. Give us that little bit at the beginning. For the beauty of